There's no school for mastering. In my case, I was fortunate enough to meet with my mentor, Doug Sachs, who basically had an opening at the time 14 years ago, and I came to him and applied for the job, which was not this. It was basically a runner, a runner, go-getter, clean this, clean that kind of a thing. And the room that we're in was being built, like a 10-year process. And it was coming near completion, and when it became completed, I had said, this is what I want to do. Coming from an engineering position, in a recording studio, I had said, I want in. This is what I want to do. And he brought me in and showed me a few things and, let me hear things and tested me and, what do you think of this? And I would give my opinion and he would go, oh, okay, I guess maybe you do know what you're doing. And so 14 years later, after his, teaching me how to listen and listen into something as far, instead of just like going, okay, that's cool, but listening farther and making decisions to see if, can that sound better? And then putting it up and, letting him test me and check it out and him giving me the okay. I mean, other than that, you try to do it yourself, but it's best to be taught by somebody that knows what they're doing. Because I had no idea what mastering was. Intern at a mastering place. Don't try to get don't go out and buy the equipment and sit in your room and try to figure it out yourself. If you can get in at a mastering studio and have an engineer like you enough to take you under their wing and show you what they're doing and teach you how to listen, because that's what happened for me. I mean, I came in thinking I knew what I was hearing, and all of a sudden I was taught a different way, and ever since that moment, it's changed for me. So, I mean, my best recommendation is just work in a studio, whether it's free or scrubbing the floor like I did, and then try to get in with that guy or lady, whichever it may be, and have them show you. And then you'll know so much more after that. It's not even funny. I mean, initially, that's my base of what I do is by what he taught me. But then, everybody's puts their own little spin on it. So I kind of do my own, my own little thing. I mean, everybody, that comes to me knows that I was trained by Doug, and that's a plus, knowing that, you were trained by somebody of his. I mean, he was the very first mastering engineer independently. Doug opened this place, and there was no independent mastering. It was all attached to labels. So he, his title is the Godfather of Mastery. Like I said before, just get with somebody who does this and have them teach you. Have them teach you what to listen for, how to listen, and get used to the room you're in. That's real important too. Mastering engineers work in one room. A mix engineer or a recording engineer, they go all over the world. They have to use studios that are in England or Japan or Louisiana or Mexico and all that kind of stuff. Those guys are using rooms that they've probably never stepped foot in before. When you come into a mastering studio, you know that this guy that's in here is probably the only room he's been in, really. I mean, unless they've come from another studio that have been in here. I mean, for me, this is the only room I've ever worked in as far as mastering goes. I've been in this room for 14 years, so I know it in and out. I know if I hear something that's got too much bottom, there's too much bottom, and I address that. If I don't hear enough, it's because it's not there, and I gotta push for it. So get used to a room, get somebody to teach you what you're listening for and how to listen, which that's a whole other story, and don't give up.